Good evening, everyone. This is Scott with G-Reviews. Today with my buddy Sean to talk about his 2010 Toyota Tacoma. Hey, Sean. Welcome to Car Convos. How you doing?
Hey, Scott. Doing great. How are you?
Doing excellent, man. So I hear you've got quite a few miles on your Tacoma. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I've had the Taco here for 5 years, and it's been great. I haven't had any problems with it. No major issues. It's really been a workhorse for getting me, from North Florida to South Florida. It's been fun to drive, and I'd recommend it to anybody looking for a pickup truck.
Awesome. All right. So you've had it for 5 years. So you've got about 150,000 on it right now, correct? Miles?
Yeah.
Okay. So how many miles did you have on it when you bought it? Remember?
Ooh, I think it was right around 60,000.
Okay. So you've put 90,000 on it.
Yeah.
In 5 years.
Yeah. 5 years.
Wow. You drive a lot.
North Florida to South Florida and Central Florida, of course.
Yeah, that's
nights.
That's a substantial amount of miles. And like you said, you've had absolutely no issues with it so far.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I don't think I've even had a flat tire. It drives great.
Wow.
I mean, it holds a line well. You can take it off-roading, take it right back onto the street.
So let me go ahead and share my screen so you can show everybody your sweet ride here. Can you see it now?
There it is.
Perfect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right at Delray Beach.
All right. So the tires and wheels, were those on it when you bought it?
No, I upgraded that.
Okay, so you upgraded that. So that's one of the mods. Is there a lift on it as well? I'm assuming. Okay, what inch lift do you have on it?
I believe we put a 3-inch lift on that.
That looks about right. 4-inch lift. Obviously you got some tinting. Is that illegal tint?
Yeah. 15% all around.
That's substantial. That's a substantial tint there. But yeah, it looks awesome. I mean, it looks awesome. So also the headlights, are those smoked?
No.
Those are stock headlights?
I think that's just the angle here.
Okay.
You got a lot of shade with the trees and the bushes on the side.
Gotcha.
But no, they have like I believe some like carbon fiber type trim.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I mean, no, it looks awesome. But so tell me about any other mods you've done to it.
Yeah. So I've changed the tires twice in the last 5 years. We got those. That's the BF Goodrich. Those are great. Those were perfect for off-roading. You could literally take that on the beach and feel secure, like you're going to make it out of there. I switched to the Michelin, and they are so much more quiet. So for me, that was kind of one of those things that after having those, those are my first ones that I had after I made the upgrade, and I had those for maybe 3 years. They didn't really last super long. I want to say 3 to 3.5 years, and it started to really start to hum. And after it started doing that, I switched them out, and it's been night and day between Michelin and BF Goodrich. So there's a shout out to the Michelin team because they have some really solid tires.
Nice.
Quiet tires.
Quiet tires. So, I mean, it was the difference there. Maybe the BF Goodrich were more off-road focused than the Michelins, or are the Michelins are both all-terrain? I mean,
yeah, obviously that's a good point. The BF Goodrich were all-terrain tires. Okay. And the Michelin are street tires.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, that makes sense.
Aggressive street tires, right?
That makes sense. All right. Well, not a direct comparison, I guess, but still, I mean, night and day in terms of the road noise. I mean, Did you notice any decrease in off-road capability with the Michelin?
No, actually, the Michelins has proved to take on some real muddy conditions that I thought for sure we were gonna just eat into the mud. And that thing just kept cruising along like we were in Idle, cruising down the Intracoastal. We were just literally cruising along like that through the mud and got out to the other side. So.
Nice. Okay. All right. So
that was with the rear diff locked. So we did have the push, we were getting from the back.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing about the Tacoma. And I mean, I looked at the Tacoma, I really, really did, and I love it, and it's substantially cheaper than the Tundra. Two
Mhm.
big things that really kept me from the Tacoma. One was towing, and I know it can tow a decent amount, and it's not like I'm gonna go buy a 30-foot boat tomorrow. But at least I know that if I wanted to buy a decent sized boat or a decent camper someday, I could pull it with a Tundra. Um, and then the only other thing is the backseat room. I mean, I don't know how do you think? I mean, because I know you have the crew cab too, but the backseat room. I mean, how? I mean, obviously you like it, but I mean, is it
Yeah,
enough?
it's enough. I mean, it fits good. I put a 60-inch TV in there.
There you go. That's all
It
you need.
fit just fine. I put the dog in there, drop the seats down. Dog sits in the back. It's got this nice, like hard rubber on the back of the back seats, so it's easy to clean and it doesn't get too messy or anything. This is the Tacoma. This is the off-road package.
Okay.
So it's got some of those things like the rear diff locker, and it's got I guess some shocks, some upgraded shocks.
Yeah, probably some
like that.
Bilstein or something like
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Does it have a skid plate? It kind of looks like it has a skid plate. Okay, sweet. And I don't know, because I thought the 4x4 version, it had like the little 4x4 sticker back there. I don't see the little 4x4 sticker. You took that off, or was that?
No, so actually the guy that purchased the car,
Okay.
he actually asked for it with no decals.
Gotcha.
But this model is actually the 4x2. It's just the off-road package in the 4x2.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well then, wow. So it's interesting. So that's right. I forgot it was, for some reason I thought it was 4-wheel drive. So even without 4x4, but with a diff lock, I mean, like you said, have you ever been really stuck?
Never been stuck in this one.
Oh, there you go.
I pushed it, like I said, through mud, 8 hours after it rained. So it's been through some wet conditions. I've taken it on the beach, with these tires that you're seeing here, and it worked fine. Didn't have any issues. So, I mean, it's great. And I've seen other videos of Tacomas in the 2-wheel drive just tearing up, off-road conditions. And, it's not perfect, but I knew I was going to do a lot of driving from North Florida to South Florida. So I wanted the extra, 2 miles per gallon or whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Like you said, I do a lot of driving. I did the 90,000 in 5 years. I mean, do the math on all the gas and the 2 miles per gallon saved. It's something.
For sure. I mean, yeah, gas mileage is definitely not something that I like to talk about on the Tundra. I mean, even with I see guys with 6-inch lift with 35s on a Tundra, and I'm like, stock ride height with street tires with not pulling anything, I'm at like 13.5 on a good day. I'm like, these guys must be like begging for double digits with these Tundras that are, lifted with these tires and stuff. But that's not the point. I know that's not the point of the Tundra, or I mean, Toyotas in general. I mean, especially the trucks, right? None of them get good gas mileage,
And I did this for the efficiency play. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to be towing a 30-foot boat with it. I knew I was only going to have it for 5 to 6 years, and it got me through where I needed to be, and never had any problems with it. It's been a blast. I mean, literally, this thing is absolutely. I mean, I want to say it's bulletproof, but I know that's not true. It's a great truck though.
That is really impressive. 90,000 miles. So I mean, obviously you probably replaced like the air filter, I assume.
Right.
Yeah. Air filter.
K&N air filter. Clean it out. Every oil change.
Did you put any like sea foam or like injector cleaner or anything like that?
I did. Yeah.
You did? Okay.
I drop that in there about once every 2 years.
Okay.
Sea foam.
Yeah. Yeah. How about transmission or diff fluid?
I think we've topped it off, but never
replaced it.
Yeah, never replaced it or anything.
Yeah, I've never done that, and I've talked to so many different guys about like transmission fluid, and I feel like that's such an important thing, but like I feel like nobody changes it. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they recommend like 40, 50,000 miles, you just replace it, but I don't know. Nobody seems to do it. I don't know.
They do like a flush. If you go to, some of the auto zones or, auto stores, they do the flush through the system and
Sure.
probably top it off and get the old crap out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that looks really good. I mean, so there's a side shot of it. So you got side steps on there, it looks like. Were those factory?
No, those were aftermarket.
Okay.
Can't remember the name of it, but I just got something that looked to match the same tread pattern as the BF Goodrich. I thought it was a good combination when you're up close.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it looks great. What about the wheels?
So the wheels are Pro Comp, and they're a, off-roading brand. You see them a lot in Jeeps, but they're solid, a little bit stronger than a typical, factory Toyota rim.
Right. I mean,
because when you're going off-roading and you're doing jumps, you want your wheels to stay circular.
Do you have videos of you doing jumps there, Sean?
No videos.
So it didn't happen, is what you're saying?
Oh, it happened. I got the spot on the headboard where my head smacked up into the top of the roof.
Okay, all right. So obviously you like the truck. I mean, I like it too. Like you said, it's been utterly reliable. Nothing wrong. How about the seats? Because I know at least mine. I mean, I've only got 20,000 miles on, and the seats seem to stain kind of easily. I mean, your seats look awesome for how many miles are on it. I mean, they look like there's.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I actually searched all over Florida for this particular setup. This is like their, upgraded seats. They got the sports package or whatever for the seats, and it's good. I mean, I like it way better than the standard seats. You'll notice there's a pattern difference and actually a difference in material where you would sit.
Yep.
These seats are a little bit more like a sporty type cut to it.
Okay.
So they grab you well.
The bolsters.
When you're off-roading and stuff, it kind of keeps you in the seat. But it's like a tan color. I mean, I don't really have too much issue with any staining or anything like that, but
nice.
I mean, the color itself is great in the summer. Here in Florida, it gets pretty hot.
Yeah.
But if I could choose, I would actually put leather in there. But I don't think this year in the Tacoma, I don't think they had a leather option.
Oh, really? No, and that makes sense because again, the Tacoma was always more of the off-roading, not a luxurious truck. I mean, it's not intended to be a luxurious truck, so makes sense to me. But really, for how old, I mean, the truck is. I mean, 10, 11, whatever you want to call it. I mean, the seats look great. No, haven't had any covers on it ever. It's just been the seats, just
no covers. No.
Nice. Well, then they definitely wear. They wear well. I'll say that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
so,
the only mark I would make on the seats is like when you first hop into the truck, you can kind of get that slide on the edge of the seat. Yeah. So they're starting to get a wear mark if you don't jump all the way into the truck and you kind of slide across the seat just on the edge there.
Do you notice? I don't know if yours has it or not, but in the Tundra, every other person, the passenger and then both back passengers, they all have a grab handle. Does the driver have a grab handle?
Right. Yes, I saw that in your video. You had a video up and you mentioned where's the grab handle?
I'm
the Tacoma has it. Both sides. Got it. Driver's side and passenger side.
That drives me nuts. I'm like, the only way of getting into my truck is to grab the steering wheel. Like I gotta like hoist myself up. I mean, obviously I don't have running boards. But I don't know. I like it without running boards. It looks nice. I don't know. That's just
wish
me.
you had that handle, right?
If I had the handle, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But that's aesthetics over functionality, I guess, is the case there. But so what do you like overall about the truck? What's like the high points?
I mean, it's responsive. I think that's one of the best parts about it. I got the K&N air filter in there. I mean, that thing will keep up with some pretty, quick cars. I'm not going to say fast because it's not necessarily fast, but it's quick and it moves quick. It handles corners great. I mean, if I slam that thing at, 55, 60 around the corner, I could keep the wheels on the ground and keep it moving. I mean, it's one of those trucks that's not going to roll as easily as, maybe some of the, regular cabs or, whatever, the
Gotcha.
1500s.
Okay. All right. So handling, you said off-road capabilities. You said you've never gotten
Yeah.
stuck, right?
Right. And I can't say that about the Frontier. So one thing you might not know about me, but I used to actually, my first truck was a Nissan Frontier. So
Oh,
I had
okay.
a crew cab Nissan Frontier, silver like this, and it was great. But that one got stuck, and never had that issue with the Tacoma. So
Was that two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive?
that was two.
It was
Two-wheel
two
drive
as
as
well?
well.
Okay. So why'd you trade the Frontier for the Tacoma?
Um, actually, I had a car in between.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay.
I was trying to do, the car stuff for a while, and I
That
realized the
seems
truck stuff's a little safer, and you kind of you keep yourself in a good place.
okay. All right. I say,
Less risk. I'll put it that way. Less risk.
okay. All right. What was the car?
I had a Acura RSX,
Okay. Nice. Those are great. Yeah.
5-speed, ripping
Yeah.
that.
Heck
First,
yeah.
second, third.
Those are great. Was it the Type S or is it? I mean,
No, it
that's
wasn't.
okay. They're still fun, regardless. They're still fun. What's funny is you're not the first person to say you did truck, car, truck. It feels like whatever you have, you kind of want the opposite thing. Like when you have a car, you're like, I love it, but I want to go off road or I want to be able to pull something or I want practicality. But then when you have the truck, some people at least, one of my buddies that I interviewed who currently has a truck, he wants the car again because he wants to shift and he wants to go fast and he wants to put an exhaust on it, blah, blah, blah.
I have both, right?
I guess you can have both. That's true. That's true. Or
I'd like to have both one day, a truck and a car, where I can kind of go back and forth.
Someday when I'm a manager, maybe I'll have both. I'm kidding. All good. So good off-road speed, reliability. I mean, so again, I know I've asked you this like 5 times. So literally nothing has broken. Like not even a light bulb. I mean, have you replaced a light bulb in the truck? Like a tail light, a headlight? Nothing?
Maybe, yeah. I think we've probably replaced a headlight.
Okay. All right.
Both headlights. I mean, I'd say maybe we replaced the headlights once out of all 5 years.
That's impressive. I mean, I'm like, there's got to be something. You gotta. I mean, to have absolutely nothing.
I know.
Not even that's awesome. Very impressive. So, how about the dislikes? What don't you like about it?
I think it could get better gas mileage than it does. I've driven, other trucks and other bigger vehicles, and I've noticed, some of the newer vehicles can even get, 20 miles a gallon in a full-size truck, and this thing's getting around 16 to 18, on the highway. But it's one of the drawbacks, I think, is the gas mileage. They get you with the sticker. The sticker, says it's a little higher, but in reality, it's lower than the sticker says, from what I've experienced.
Well, I mean, and again, modified it. So obviously the sticker's going to be wrong for your truck, but my truck is bone stock. And I mean, it's saying I'm supposed to get 17 miles a gallon on the highway. Granted, I go 75, 80, and obviously the highway mileage is at 55.
Right.
So that might be why. And
you have that little, that digital thing that moves the miles per gallon as you step harder on the pedal.
Of course.
And so it's like, that you're not just putting your toe on the pedal, you're, giving it some gas to get away from the light.
Oh, yeah.
So that's also not helping.
Well, also the fact that it sounds so dang good, too. A 5.7 liter V8, I mean, it sounds great, even with the stock pipe on it. So that doesn't help either. That doesn't help my miles a gallon either. Yeah. So, you know what?
What else I put on that list that I didn't like?
Paint.
Paint, yeah. The paint is, I compare it to, the Tahoe that I'm sure we're going to, talk about later in this call. But the paint difference, in terms of what Chevy's putting out and 10 years down the road, being able to compare what the paint looks like to what the Toyota is putting out, there's just a difference in the glossiness and the durability of the paint. I think there's a big difference between the two brands.
So I've heard, different paint issues with different brands before. How often have you waxed it or clay barred it? Have you really done?
Yeah, I have. I've done,
Okay.
in the last 2 years, I've done the clay bar twice, and I've waxed it probably 3 or 4 times.
Okay. Yeah. Once a quarter. That's pretty typical.
Right.
Okay. So what are you noticing? So you're just saying it's not shiny, or it's actually like
Right.
just getting dull,
Mhm.
like the clear coat's basically kind of going
Yeah.
away type of thing?
Yep. Exactly. I mean, you can tell. There's like a glossiness to like a brand new car
Of course.
that, in my opinion, that at least the Chevy Tahoe has been able to withstand the years a little bit better than the Tacoma has. And they both seen the same, Florida sun. And I don't know, it's a glossiness thing. And it's also a durability thing, just normal things kind of bumping into it. The Tacoma seems to hold the light bump, not necessarily a scratch, but something you can, kind of buff out. But it seems to hold that little mark a little easier than the paint on the Chevy.
Swirl marks, that type of thing.
Right.
Although silver, I would argue silver is the best paint color for longevity. Like, in my opinion. I mean, black is obviously the worst. We can all agree on black is
I don't know. I don't know. I think that jury's still out for me because like
really.
the Tahoe that I'm looking at, the Tahoe's black, and then the paint looks better than my silver
Oh
Tacoma.
man. Well, whoever had it before you must have really taken care of it or put it in the garage.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's Mr. Jacobson. Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go. shout out to
yeah.
Mr. Jacobson. But okay, so that's awesome. So next segment, would you buy it again?
Absolutely,
Would you buy it?
absolutely.
Okay, you would buy it
Yeah.
again.
And
All right.
so if I have a need down the road, I mean, like I said, I'd love to own a truck and a car. And I mean, if I was in a position where I could have a little bit extra land and could use a pickup truck, just kind of moving things around, I would definitely consider a Tacoma.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's something that I'm not going to say struggled with because I don't own a primary residence house. I don't own one of those, so I really don't have a particular need for a truck. At least the bed of the truck. I don't know. How many times have you used the bed of the truck to lug around big objects? I mean, you have a boat
Well,
though, so I mean, you have coolers and
right, right. Yeah, I'd say pretty often. And two, I usually
Really?
put the dog in the bed of
Okay,
the truck rather
gotcha.
than inside the car. So dogs there a lot. Going to Orlando and bringing stuff between the houses, and just being young, I've moved a lot. Over
Yep.
the last 5 years. So there's been definitely times where I filled it up or helped somebody else, move stuff. I mean, I'm throwing a couch in there in a couple weeks. So, I mean, it's definitely putting stuff in the bed, moving it around.
They say you have more friends when you have a truck. Is that true?
Maybe. Yeah, we might have a couple,
I don't know
couple
about
folks that need you to
friends.
move some mulch.
Yeah, I
Couple
don't know
folks that need
about
you to move some mulch. Uh,
I don't know
some big
about
items.
friends, but people reaching out to you. Like, hey, you
Yeah.
still got that Tacoma,
Yeah.
Um,
No, I'm dedefinitely, I get volunteered by other people to
oh, Sean.
put stuff in the bed and
Oh,
move it
yeah,
around.
Sean's got a truck, right?
Right.
That's funny. All right. So speaking of truck things, so what do you tow and what do you tow if you do tow something?
Yeah. So, I tow a boat, 19-foot boat. Have no issues with it. Like I said, moving, I've towed, a 12-foot by 9-foot U-Haul,
U-Haul.
totally filled
Yep.
up. North Florida, South Florida, no problems. And I really haven't seen the limits. I mean, I feel like it's strong on the towing side of things. It brakes well. It doesn't get like pushed around or anything like that. I hear from just experience and talking to different people about towing, like the Ford Explorer, for example. It can get pushed down when
Yeah.
you're towing like a boat or something like that.
Yep.
It can actually get pushed down the road. I didn't really see that issue with the Toyota Tacoma. Maybe it's the tires I have. They're a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
33-inch tires, so they're a little bit bigger and wider than the stock that you would
Right.
see on,
You get more tread on the road,
car.
right?
Right.
All right. Well, that's
Yeah.
good. So it doesn't sound like you need a
Towing's great.
Tundra. No need.
The reason why I would go with the Tundra is if I was going to have it a little bit longer, and I wanted to, have a lot more space in the cab. If I had a lot of people, maybe a family, right, in the cab. That's why, I'm looking to, move to, the Chevy Tahoe, because it does have more cab space.
Yep.
But, for right now, I mean, I'm usually the only one in the truck,
I know.
or me and
I know.
Christina,
Yep.
so it's going to be, it's, I don't really need this huge cab space. But it's nice to have it because it does give you a little bit more comfort, when you're doing the long drives.
Every once in a while. I mean, yeah, for sure. And I do have the Crew Max, and I mean, like, I've had my cousin is 6'4". I put the driver's seat all the way back, and he was in the back seat, and his knees were still like this far from the back seat. I mean, it's kind of stupid how much space is back there.
Right.
But I mean, that's just me. I would personally rather have more interior lockable air conditioned space than bed space. I mean, that's just, I don't know. That's my opinion. That's why I went with the Crew Max instead of the shorter cab and the longer bed. But that's all good. So give me the top thing you like the most and the top thing you hate the most about the Tacoma, just to sum it up. Top thing and worst thing.
I mean, the top thing's probably going to be the just off-roading feel and how it drives. I mean, it's just one of those trucks that is fun to drive. So that's probably the best thing about it. It's real fun to drive. You feel safe in the truck. You don't feel like you're going to flip or you're going to get into a position that you can't get out of. I mean, I've taken that thing almost straight up on a hill, and I had to turn around on the hill, and I was straight up, backing it up, doing like a 5-point turn on a hill, like straight up. And I mean, it held its ground. It didn't flip over. So the way it drives and the way it performs off-road, I think, is the best thing it has going for it.
Okay.
In terms of, the thing I don't like about it, or the thing I like least about it, is, probably the gas mileage. I think that kind of let me down a little bit when I originally purchased it. I was hoping to get, closer to 20 miles a gallon, and I'm getting, closer to 16, 18. So I think, on my next truck, if I'm buying newer, I'm going to make sure I'm getting something that's 20 or above for gas mileage.
And you also have,
I mean, hopefully the technology's there.
Well, I mean, you could also get a diesel, but then diesel's a whole nother set of issues with the DEF fluid and the exhaust recirculation systems. I mean, yeah, but anyway, but I've also seen quite a correlation between reliability and MPG. You can't, because like, for example, a Ford EcoBoost, it's a smaller V6 with the turbos on it. So it has the power of a V8. The MPG, it has good MPG for not really using it, but then it's got a whole bunch of issues, at least what I've seen. Turbos going bad or whatever the case might be, or with Chevys, they have cylinder deactivation. So sometimes on the highway, they're running 4 cylinders instead of 8, but then that's an issue. Yep. Toyota doesn't have any of that, but the MPG sucks. So it's you're gonna pay now at the pump, or you pay later for repair bills. I don't know. That's kind of at least my thought process.
Yeah, and I actually, the technology where the V8s drop down into the V4 when they're on the highway, that was like a brand new technology when I first got my truck. So that option's not even available for Tacomas, I don't think.
No.
But going forward, I think that technology is something that I would like to have in my next vehicle, and definitely in the Tahoe, where it is a V8 and then it shuts down to the V4, and you're getting close to that 20 miles a gallon point, as long as you're being easy on the gas.
Right. Yeah. I mean, technology definitely is coming, and I mean, I know the F-150, it's a hybrid now. I mean, so it's got electric.
I wanted to ask you.
Huh?
I wanted to ask what your thoughts were on the full electric truck. Would you ever own a full electric truck?
Oh man, I mean, I've looked at the Rivians. Have you heard of those? The Rivian.
I have heard of them.
Yep. They're
sweet. Really futuristic looking, right?
They're awesome. I mean, there's a compartment in between the bed and the truck, and you could stick like a surfboard sideways. I mean, they're pretty awesome. What I will say is that although technically they can tow a lot, an electric motor has tons of torque from 0 RPM. Electric cars are more efficient in the city than they are on the highway than a gas car, right? Gas is more efficient on the highway than the city. So if you're using an electric truck to tow, TFL did a video on a Tesla Model X towing, its maximum tow capacity. Normally the Model X has like a 300-mile range. When it was towing its max tow capacity, the range was like 75 miles. And then, it took them like an hour to refill the battery to go another 75 miles. So it's like,
it's brutal.
It is. It's
try to go to
it's rough.
Here to Key West, you'd be stuck.
It would take you 12 hours, so, I mean, I really like it. I've driven electric vehicles before, and they're so much fun. I don't know if have you ever driven in one or driven one?
Not a fully electric one. No, I've never driven a full electric vehicle.
I know in the Boca Mall, they've got the Tesla dealer in there. I'm pretty sure you can just go in there and say, hey, let me take it for a test drive.
Spin.
They're crazy. Yeah, I mean, those Teslas.
I would like to test drive the. I'd like to test drive the Cybertruck
when it comes out. Whenever it comes out.
Yeah. I think that would be interesting to get a feel for that and just see how it performs.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess a lesser version of that. The new F-150 is a hybrid. It's called a Power Boost. So it's the EcoBoost motor with electric motors, and it's got a generator and all that stuff. So I'm waiting for my local Ford dealer to get that in, and then I can go, review it. So we'll see what happens. But so obviously I don't want to keep you here all night. The last thing that I have, so with all that being said, you mentioned already your next car is a Chevy Tahoe, right? So, and like you said, you're not getting rid of the Tacoma for the Tahoe at this point, right?
Right. Yeah, no, they're still going to hold on to the Tacoma, but the Tahoe is just an upgrade in luxury and space and, 4x4. It's got 2 air conditioning units in the thing. I mean, everything about it is just a step up. It's got wood grain on the dash, on the doors. I mean, it just feels great. I mean, you get in it and you feel like you're stepping into a tank. Yeah. And so it's just great. And it's responsive too. I mean, you step on the gas and that thing wants to move. So
it's a V8,
for
right?
me, it checks off all the boxes.
Yeah. It can tow. I mean, you got, lots of space in the back. Yeah, I looked at those too, for sure. Those GM small block V8s are, very reliable. They're pretty much bulletproof from way back when. So I think you'll have a great experience with that one too. But well, Sean, I really appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. Hopefully, we'll talk soon. And I really appreciate you being on the show today.
Hey, Scott, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Sean. Appreciate it. Take it easy.